There is a lot of legendary weapons, legendary armor, and even exotic weapons and armor in Destiny 2. Getting all of these weapons and armor can take a really long time, but you know what takes even longer is getting all of the vast materials in Destiny 2 that you are going to need to upgrade all of these weapons and armor. Items such as legendary shards, enhancement cores, even Glimmer, and many, many more. So in today's video, I want to show you the most effective and fastest way to farm every single material in Destiny 2 as a solo player. Now, if you've got friends to play with, that's even better because you can still use all of these methods, but do them with your friends to make the process even quicker. So let's get straight into the first material, and that is farming legendary shards. Legendary shards is one of the most used materials in Destiny 2, so having an abundance of them is needed. Now, apart from just playing the game and dismantling all of the legendary gear that you don't need, the best way to actively farm for these is farming Dares of Eternity. Dares of Eternity is one of the best methods in Destiny 2 to get a lot of legendary gear, which obviously you can dismantle for legendary shards. Finishing one run of Dares of Eternity will guarantee you at least 1 or 2 pieces of legendary gear. Also, after finishing an activity, you also have the chance of getting a treasure key and also strange coins. Now, you can take this treasure key back to Xur's treasure hoard and open a chest which will guarantee you another piece of legendary gear. And once you've built up enough strange coins, you can then turn them into the horse to then get a paraversal haul, which will then guarantee you more legendary gear. So there is plenty of opportunities in Dares of Eternity to get a lot of legendary gear, which you can then dismantle into legendary shards. Now, also while farming Dares of Eternity, you can also have the chance at getting some of the red border weapons that you can then craft in the future, like the BXR Battler and the other half sword. These are great weapons in the game, and if you can get these crafted, that's even a bonus. So it's a little 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, if you don't like Dares of Eternity, on your ghost, make sure you're putting on the Prosperity Ghost mod depending on what activity you're farming. So let's say you're doing some Nightfalls, put on the Prosperity mod for Vanguard. If you're doing Crucible or Gambit, you can put on the Prosperity mod for those activities. This will give you a chance at getting an extra piece of legendary gear so that you can get more legendary shards. Now, if all else fails and you simply just don't feel like playing Destiny 2, you can go to your collections and buy 3 blue transmat effects for Glimmer. From here, you can then transfer those 3 blue transmat effects into a legendary transmat effect and then turn it into Raoul at the tower for 1 legendary shard. This isn't the best method. It's about 3,000 Glimmer for 1 shard, but I thought I'd just put it on the list anyway because it is a method of obtaining legendary shards. Now, the next material that I want to cover is Glimmer. The easiest way to get a fast amount of Glimmer is check your inventory for any Rainmakers. Bungie recently changed Rainmakers so that you can just dismantle these for 3,000 Glimmer per 1 Rainmaker. A lot of players still haven't realized this, and a lot of players still have a huge amount of Rainmakers in their inventory. So see if you have any and you can dismantle them whenever you need some Glimmer. Now, if you don't have any Rainmakers, don't stress, there is still a super easy method to get these. Head to any planet that you want. I recommend the Cosmodrome or the EDZ. Now, on your ghost, use the Perfected Resource Detector and Bountiful Harvest. All you have to do now is aimlessly run around and pick up planetary materials. Each node, you will never see shy of 1,000 Glimmer per planetary material. This is really, really effective, and you can get a few thousand in just a couple minutes. And the final method for obtaining Glimmer, whenever you're doing anything in Destiny, make sure to put the Ultimate Glimmer Booster mod on your ghost, which will give you 65% more Glimmer every time you get some. This is super effective, and it all adds up whenever you're playing the game for a few hours. Moving on to enhancement cores, just like the Glimmer, if you have any finest matter weaves in your inventory, you can also turn in one of these for 1 enhancement core. So if you still have an abundance of finest matter weaves, also hand these in for 1 enhancement core per finest matter weave. I know it's simple, but just check your inventory, you might have some that you didn't even know about. Your next best way is to do all of your daily bounties from Banshee, the gunsmith in the tower. These are super simple to do, and they roughly only take upwards of a minute per bounty. If you do all of these on all of your characters, you can get 12 enhancement cores per day, which doesn't seem a lot, but when you do it every week, it all adds up. Do not forget to put the Lesser Core Harvest mod on your ghost whenever you're doing any activities like Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit. The easiest way and retroactive way to get enhancement cores is by dismantling legendary gear, as you have a chance at getting an enhancement core. So if you're farming legendary shards from Dares of Eternity, you're gonna have a pretty good chance at getting a few enhancement cores every single time. Now, another method that I don't recommend because it's quite expensive, but if you do have a lot of enhancement prisms, but you don't have a lot of cores, what you can do is grab some blue gear from your collections and level it up to level 8. Doing this will cost you 3 enhancement cores and 1 enhancement prism, but once you dismantle it, you will get 6 enhancement cores back. So for some reason, if you have an abundance of prisms over in your postmaster, but you don't have a lot of cores, this is a pretty good method for you. Next on the list is the upgrade modules. So luckily the power cap hasn't been increased in this season, so we don't need these as much as we had in the past. But if you're still trying to get max level and you do need upgrade modules, don't worry, I'll tell you exactly how to get them. So as you're leveling up and playing throughout the season, you're going to level up all of your vendors. Make sure you claim all of these rewards from them, as they hand them out pretty frequently. Just from the gunsmith here, he's given me 4 just for simply leveling them up. Super simple and super easy. Now again, just like all of the other materials, there is a ghost mod called modularity that you can put on depending on what activity you're doing, whether that's Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit. Now, this isn't the best method because the chances for these to drop seems to be pretty low, but it is still a chance, so make sure you put it on. Now, the best way to get upgrade modules is go back and do all of the Witch Queen and the Lightfall campaign on your other characters. Now, I know there's a lot of you Guardians out there that haven't done this because you've only done it on your main character. Each mission you do, you're almost guaranteed 1 or 2 upgrade modules per quest. When these campaigns were released, Guardians needed to level up, so in these loot pools from the chests after each quest, they made sure they gave you lots of upgrade modules so that you could level up your Guardian while you do the campaign. So these are still scripted that way, so go back and do them on your other characters that you haven't completed them on. Now we're moving on to some of the harder materials in the game, like Enhancement Prisms. Realistically, the only way to get Enhancement Prism is by doing harder Nightfalls like Grandmasters. Now, for a solo player, this can be quite challenging to get a group together and do this. But if you're a fairly confident player, it's really not that hard to do a Grandmaster Nightfall. I recommend on waiting till week 7, which is this week of this season when I release this video. You can choose the Grandmaster Nightfall that you want to do. So if you haven't got Discord, download it right now and join the Destiny 2 LFG Discord group. There is hundreds of Guardians asking to do GMs every single day, and there's even Guardians wanting to farm all of these GMs for all of these materials. Plenty of these guys in there are definitely very good at the game, and they can almost carry you through these activities as long as you can hold your own and you don't die. I recommend doing the Devil's Lair. It is the fastest and the easiest out of all of the ones we can choose this season. Look up a guide on YouTube. There is plenty of them out there on how to do each GM. Just take your time and I'm sure you'll be able to do it. However, if you're not able to do a Grandmaster Nightfall, that's okay. Any Nightfall tier will have a chance at dropping Enhancement Prisms, whether that's Hero, Legend, or Master. But obviously, the harder the difficulty of the Nightfall, the better chance at getting these Enhancement Prisms you have. Now, don't worry, there is a Ghost mod as well. It's called Greater Core Harvest, so put this on your Ghost when you're doing any activities like Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit. On top of this, work on resetting all of your vendors throughout the season. The first 16 ranks, you're going to get 2 prisms, but once you reset it, the next 16 ranks is going to give you 4, meaning you can get upwards of 6 prisms per vendor depending on how much you play the game. Up next, we have Ascendant Shards, and unfortunately, this is the same for Enhancement Prisms. You're going to need to do those harder Nightfalls like Grandmasters. Now, I recommend waiting until there is double loot for a weekend of Master or Grandmaster Nightfalls, meaning you can do less GMs and Master Nightfalls and you'll get double the rewards. Again, just choose the easiest Grandmaster or Master Nightfall and farm it with a group from an LFG, and you're going to get double the rewards. Now, also, if you didn't know, you can stack Enhancement Prisms and Ascendant Shards in your Postmaster. The Postmaster can hold an additional 50 Enhancement Prisms and an additional 10 Ascendant Shards. Now, this works per character, so you can hold up to 150 Enhancement Prisms and 30 Ascendant Shards in your Postmaster across your 3 characters. So if there's ever a double loot Nightfall and there's an easy GM or Master GM, make sure you get onto it and farm it as much as you can that week. Now, I also want to mention at Raoul, you can buy Ascendant Shards with Enhancement Prisms, and you can also buy Enhancement Prisms with Enhancement Cores. So if you have a lot of Enhancement Cores, buy a bunch of Prisms and then turn those Prisms into Ascendant Shards. Now, it's not the most effective method, but it is something that you can do if you can actively farm a lot of Enhancement Cores. Now, the next material is one of the rarest materials in the game, and that is Ascendant Alloys, which is used in weapon crafting. Now, this material is super rare, so make sure you go to Raoul each week and purchase your one that you can do each week. But if you have a lot of spare time and you're a solo player, go back and do the Witch Queen weekly mission over and over again at your best chance for Ascendant Alloys. The drop change is pretty rare, but you can farm it. And if you do have confidence in an LFG group, head over and do some Master Wellspring. This is a better chance than doing the weekly mission, but it does require finding a team. So take your pick and do whatever you feel is necessary. And the last farmable material on this list is Spoils of Conquest. Now again, if you're a confident solo player, the best farming farming method for this is to find a group and do the first encounter of Root of Nightmares. It only takes a couple minutes and you have a chance at getting a few spoils each time. However, if doing raids with groups isn't your thing, jump onto YouTube and check out all of the solo raid chests that you can go and get by yourself. Every raid has a secret chest that can award spoils of conquest, and there is plenty of guides out there on how to get these chests per raid by yourself. I think there's roughly well over 15 chests to get each and every week by yourself that will award spoils of conquest. So if you do this every single week per character, there's a lot of loot to be had. It may take you a bit of time, but it is well worth it. But anyway, that is going to wrap up the list there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop down in the comments your favorite farming method for any of these materials. Feel free to drop a like and a subscribe. But anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you later.